We are here right now in the barrel auction. We're joined by Margaret Mondavi. Margaret, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, and you're first-timers to the wine auction.
Yeah. It is our first time. We're excited.
We started this in 81. This was 26 years ago. It came about at a little coffee table in Oakville at a restaurant called the Colonial, which is long gone. And Bob and I and Pat Montandon had breakfast there, and we talked about the great wine auction at the Hospice de Beaune. And we said, couldn't California have an auction like that? That was, I think, the original seed.
George, take us back in time a little bit when people started becoming aware of the importance of their stemware and how it affected wine.
I remember clearly when I came first to the valley in January 1990, and I was introduced to Tim Mondavi at the time. And we did a tasting, and Tim could not believe the difference a glass makes on the perception of the wine. And therefore, he called his brother, Michael, and they did another tasting. And the story goes that they were thinking that this is completely unreal. They recognized obviously that this will complicate their life, which means that all of a sudden they have to provide for every grape variety, for every major grape variety, a different glass. And it's the first time that winemakers endorsed our glasses by using them in the winery and spreading the good news.
So there's been a lot of change at Mondavi over the last few years, and I would guess it's sort of exciting.
Well, at Mondavi, I'm saying with the Mondavi family.
Yeah, absolutely.
My father, my sister, myself, Margaret, our children. We are looking forward. We have some wines coming from vineyards that have been in my family for a very long time, and the wines are showing extremely well. Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and Petit Verdot. You know, it's good to have roots in this valley, and so we're reestablishing those roots and going strongly.
We're here at the Copia Center and with the Napa Valley auction, and we're one of the beneficiaries of some of the proceeds from all the money that's raised. And we're with the Youth Development Recipient Agency, right?
Correct. Well, my name is Jason Weiss, and specifically I'm with Boys and Girls Clubs in Napa Valley. The funds that go to all the agencies in Auction Napa Valley, there's basically three areas. There's housing, youth, and health. And so a percentage of the proceeds go to each area. Now, last year was just such an amazing year where they raised $10 million. So I think more agencies than ever before were able to benefit.
Yeah, with all the budget cuts we hear about, just a tightening of funds that are available, this stuff has really become important. It's amazing how much money they raise here. It's millions and millions of dollars. It blows me away.
Hey, I don't know how. I mean, it is amazing, and I don't know how some of these agencies would survive without this. I mean, it's really, it's such a key part of our operating budgets for the year.
This is Brian and Jay, and we're here at the barrel auction. We're joined by Gina Davis of Commander-in-Chief. Gina, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, thank you.
So tell us, why are you here today?
Well, I'm actually part of lot, I believe it's lot 19, which is, I come with it, yeah, absolutely. The winner of this auction item will get a walk-on part in Commander-in-Chief television movie.
Wow, and so are you a big wine person or more of a foodie?
You know, I'm really getting quite an introduction to wine this weekend. I think by the end of this weekend I'm going to end up with a wine cellar or something for sure.
All right, we're here with Ryan Seacrest, who is the host of the 2006 Napa Valley auction. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here. A lot of fun.
Now, at the start of the auction, you mentioned a couple things, and I didn't know this. Number one, you mentioned you like girls.
I do. Yes, so you've learned a lot. So that plus, what else?
You also mentioned, the thing that really surprised me is you're a huge wine geek. And that was the thing that really surprised me. That's the breaking news. So I want to find out more about that.
I am. I actually heard that there was the 76 tasting that he did one more time here, right?
Yeah.
They did it again.
We know that. Yeah.
I know about the original, and I actually wanted to be here for the 76 tasting. the reenactment, if you will, and I missed out on that. But I love it. It's the reason I say yes to all my jobs, so I can buy a great bottle at the end of the week.
Well, that's all that's important, really.
It is. It's a beautiful thing.
What kind of wine do you collect?
I collect reds, a lot of reds from right here, from Napa. Yeah, a lot of great reds. Heights, I love the Stags, Fay, a lot of great reds.
We're here with Jason Paulmeyer of Paulmeyer. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Now, you have some wine here that you've donated for this event. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why you've done that, what this event means to you guys?
Well, this event, just like all the other events for the Napa Valley Wine Auction, is to raise funds for the local community here, and I think we're doing a great job. Oh, the bottle I donated, a 1996 Paulmeyer Chardonnay. I like to call it industrial strength Chardonnay. That's because it's big in everything, big, bold. It's high in alcohol, high in oak, high in viscosity. It's my style of wine. Yeah, it's 10 years old now, and it's aged beautifully because it's in a 3-liter bottle. 3 liters, the equivalent of four ordinary bottles of wine, and it ages very, very gracefully that way. Most people don't realize California Chardonnay can age very, very well. I guess the recent redo of the Paris tasting showed that California wines do age very well. In particular, it's true that not all Chardonnays age well. There's only maybe 10 or 15 in Napa Valley or California that really have that potential, and that's the way they're made. You know, to be barrel fermented, no filtration, no fining. So you leave what I like to call the guts in the wine. Everything's there. Nothing's been washed out or filtered out.
This is Eric and Brian and what is your name again? George? Jay. This is Eric and Brian and George, and we're with Warren Winiarski from Stag's Leap Wine Cellars. Warren, it's a pleasure to meet you, and it's a pleasure to see you here at the auction. Can you tell us a little bit about the auction?
Well, I wouldn't miss it. We have an auction lot that celebrates. That will be travel and going to France and visiting the chateau. Stephen Spurrier will be going.
Really?
And maybe George Tabor, who wrote the book that
Right.
you just read.
Right.
That must have been an exciting time back then when to win a tasting such as that.
It was more exciting as every year it seems to grow in significance. And when they put a bottle in the Smithsonian Institution, a bottle of that wine and a bottle of the Montelena, then it kept growing after that. That was every time it gets another platform. And now, after 30 years, it's been on 2 continents, another Paris tasting, and with more or less the same results. So who would have thought 30 years ago that there'd be a tasting on 2 continents? And nobody was losers because the French haven't stopped making beautiful wines. We're just now part of another club with no reservations about ageability.
Now Stag's Leap Wine Cellars, Napa, Paris, Bordeaux, recreate the 30th tasting.
Bid.
70,000 is bidder now. At 70,000 now we need 75. This isn't going to be recreated much more because there ain't the wine around.
Bid.
75,000 now, thank you. 75 go, 80. Any more? Going once. 80,000, there it is. Yeah, 85,000 now. 85,000, come on back, paddle 40. 85,000 now, give me 90. 90,000, this is your last chance. Going, go, $90,000.
All
Paddle
right.
6.